Right, what shall we review for today? Let's try this one. Right, fantastic. Here you go, guys. This is the latest that I got while just wandering aimlessly in shopping complexes and toy stores and whatnot. Last week we did the man himself, the most powerful man in the universe. Now, of course, he's only the most powerful man in the universe as a result of having a foe that he can defeat, and it doesn't get any better than the foe that you see right here, Skeletor, in his reinterpretation of an old classic or vintage toy line of the Masters of the Universe series. And as you can see here, some of the new takes on all the characters that is available includes He-Man, which we did in the previous video. I've got his perfect adversary, Skeletor himself. Of course, in the good guy wave, they have the Teela and Men-at-Arms, which I am still tracking down. The problem here is that, there are a lot of guys of my age or within that same era who's tracking down all of this, and not to mention we are also competing with scalpers and whatnot, because they know there is a market for it. So the moment that these things come out, it just gets sold out, and then you have to track them down, and you can get it online, and it's sold like as high as double the price and all that. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, it has not been easy tracking this down. I know experiences differ for different people, so perhaps you guys are having better luck, and if you do, well, good for you, and if you aren't, well, keep on looking. And okay, and then for the evil side, you also have Evil Lyn and Beastman. I think since then they have updated and brought in a few more characters from a different wave, which includes or the subsequent wave to this, which is I believe She-Ra and Merman and Roboto and who else? There was one more. Then the names slips my mind. Well, anyways, as you can see here, for those of you who are aware of this vintage sort of carded Masters of the Universe toy line, you have them in this new packaging which says Modern Posing Retro Play. What this essentially means is that you have the vintage toy, but with articulation in areas where the previous I suppose toy line didn't have. It comes with the wonderful carded in a carded version, and of course a beautiful artwork. Just brings out the nostalgia in every sense of the word for Skeletor specifically, and then also it shows all the articulation that comes with it. So this is a nice little touch in terms of, I think the vintage card is also very similar to this in terms of the display and whatnot. And then you have the legalities, which nobody cares. So what does it say for Skeletor? Let's read this. It says, the nefarious overlord Skeletor wants to control the power within Castle Grayskull. Or at least if that's how Skeletor would have read it. And I don't know whether he would be happy with my impersonation of him, but nevertheless, that's how I think he would have read it. So, without further ado, let's open this and see what we have inside, and take it from there. Now, right out of the packaging, this is what you're gonna get. You have the comic book that is pretty much the same for every single character in the first wave. I was led to believe that perhaps the comic has a slight variation from the second wave onwards, but you're gonna get this as a standard package from the first wave. Which is not to say it's a bad comic or whatsoever. It's just that I think some or most of us would have preferred something different, but well, it is what it is. As for the figure itself, it comes with, of course, the man himself, Skeletor, and his accessories, which includes his staff, which was dominantly featured in the Filmation series, which is the He-Man or the Masters of the Universe I associate with. The staff with the, I don't know what skull is this, an animal skull of some sort. And then, of course, half the sword, which I don't think they ever investigated the law of the half the sword belonging to Skeletor and half the sword belonging to He-Man, so that they combine and open to become the key for Castle Grayskull. But it was something that was within the Masters of the Universe comic and also story, the initial story at least. But if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, it was not really explored in the Filmation. But for the sake of having this, as you can see here, you have the holes, and obviously the He-Man sword has the pegs that you can attach and you can combine as one sword. So that's something that's quite neat. Or if not, you can just display Skeletor with this particular sword. So let's leave that aside and just see the figure itself. Now, in mine, there is this sort of green, I think the paint, I don't know whether it's something that is just the green from the skull that is translated to the hood. One thing I've noticed is that the hood seems to really be a really short one. I mean, it doesn't look like it's connected to the, like it covers his neck or anything like that. It is kind of short hood, which is okay. And then you have the armor, everything checks out. I don't see any other flaws in any other part of the figure itself, so I'm okay. So just that the tiny spot that okay, for a figure of this price, it's pretty good actually. Yeah, you can just about see, I think, I don't know whether they did a good job in the face paint, but that must or that could be the reason why some of the paint has gone onto the hood itself. But okay, it is what it is. Now for the articulation on this type of figures, and as I explored in the He-Man review, you're not gonna get much of it in the same vein as, let's say, a Marvel Legend or anything like that, but it does enough because here you have the head on a hinge ball and a ball joint that allows for a nice click there, and then it goes down, up, left, right, and sort of all the way around. Arms can be stretched up to this much. This armor piece here doesn't really get in the way because it's a kind of a softer material. It can stretch forward by that much and can be rotated, which is good. There's no such bicep swirl or anything like that. And the elbow is just a single jointed elbow that allows the bend for, I guess, just about 90, enough for Skeletor here to flex his biceps. And then the hand itself is on a hinge that allows inward, outward, and yeah, just about enough, I suppose, in any sense of the word. No diaphragm or anything whatsoever, but the base can swivel left and right, and the legs can spread quite a bit, so Skeletor does the split. Obviously no such thing as a thigh cut or anything like that. The what do you call a knee is a single joint, and it's nicely covered by this sort of a protrusion that allows that nicely hides the hinge, and of course 90 degrees for the leg. Legs can go up, down, all the way around. So and also you can see just about the whole peg hole here. Now I will explain to you why this is so, because this particular Skeletor can also sit in the and ride essentially the sled that came with the what do you call Prince Adam sled. where if you change the heads and whatnot. Okay, I don't have the figure with me, but if you have that, you know for a fact that if you change the head, I think the heroes comes with the, if I'm not mistaken, like a griffin head, and then the front portion of the on the sled. But if you change that to the snake head, then it's actually a sort of a villain's vehicle. So this Skeletor actually can sit in there and pack nicely to the what do you call the feet resting place of the sled. And yeah, and of course this armor here, you can see there's enough connection here that you can actually take out the armor and expose the bare body of Skeletor. Not too sure why you want to do that. I've seen some people playing around with this figure in terms of changing bodies and whatnot, and because it comes with like this kind of modular construction where you can just fix in the legs of something else, the body of something else, the torso of something else. It is quite a toy to play. Now, one thing I realized with this kind of toy line is that it just it brings the fun in the toy themselves. It tells you that for most of the time you don't really actually have to spend quite a bit to enjoy your toys. In fact, something like this can keep me busy for, let's say, a number of hours, just playing around with the posing and whatnot, and it harks back to why I love toys in the first place. That's something that's it just really it warms my heart to know that toys like this still exist, and especially, of course, one with nostalgia like this. But more importantly, it tells me something as simple as this can bring so much joy to a toy collector. So I think for that reason alone, toys like this is worth collecting and playing around, for that matter. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to that for the time being. We'll try to, again, like I said, it's going to be a short video simply because there's not much to do with this figure in terms of articulation and whatnot. What I'll try to do is put him in different poses so that we can end the video. And then let's see if I can track down every other guys from the heroes and villains wave, just to see whether I can build the Masters of the Universe collection. It's not to say I don't have one, but I have the loyal subjects one, not knowing that this will ever come out. But now that this is there and I like what I see, I mean, I like this a lot. I like this line a lot. It goes without saying. So I'll try to track down every other figures that come, well, whatever is available in my part of the territory, and then we'll try to explore each one of them one by one, or maybe collectively. I don't know. I think He-Man and anyways, He-Man and Skeletor deserves their own video, and the others, maybe I'll pile them up together and see how it goes. So with that, thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, and as usual, if you like what you see, or and is just interested in the same kind of hobby as I am, please feel free to click the like button and subscribe where you can. Till then, adios.
Here we go, making really on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy, we look sexy. Here we go, making really on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy, we look sexy. It's so icy, 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 엄마 내 combination, 새로운 것 같지 머리 swag, 남들이 잘 때도 쓸어 답지, breaking.